We got a little bit of crack there. Got a little candy right there. I'm gonna back up when we can get a good view of it.
Ready, son?
Here we go.
How old would that be?
He says it's a 69, so yeah, 51 years old. That's right. So we've got a 1969 model John Deere 440A cable skidder right here. This thing was bought new in 1970, and the same cat that bought it new still owns it today. And I've got it right here with me. He's like 175 years old, but he's still kicking like a chicken. We're gonna see if this thing gonna crank. We're gonna run. We're gonna just kind of walk around it here. I mean, for that thing to be 51 years old, still looks pretty dang good, don't it?
She's a good one.
You may have to, in your wheel, you may have to kind of wheel this thing to me or something. If you go to sell it, I want first shot at it. It's what I want. Don't even be thinking about it over there, Junior. It would do me a lot better than it would you, man.
Talk to Lisa about that.
Oh, God.
I'd really truly say all my stuff probably only one heartbeat away.
One heartbeat. That close, got one foot in and the other foot out. Another one's slipping in, ain't it?
One heartbeat away from being sold.
Man, you know, I've seen pictures of it and I posted some pictures of this thing, but as far as cosmetically, it's still in very, very good shape. I mean,
Look at that.
oh yeah, you don't see many of them like that that'll still roll, you know. I mean, the back fenders, it's not really, it's not caved in right there or anything bad. What all have you had done to it, major mechanically wise, since you've had it?
Years ago, it started smoking just a wee little bit. Well, of course, Dad said, we better get it overhauled.
Right.
So we took it in and had them, they tore it down. And God, they put it back together with a lot of the parts that were still in the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Then what, about 5 years ago, I had it rebuilt.
That's been longer than that.
What happened to it then? Was that before you came here?
I was getting a lot of blow-by.
Yeah, that was before you came here.
Before I
wasn't it?
came here, yeah. I had it rebuilt, and I ran it 17 hours, and somebody doctored my engine.
Oh yeah.
17 hours. So
that was up there.
Up there in Ohio.
Really?
Yep.
This one actually has a clutch on it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's just like it's gonna be just like running a tractor on it. You've got a manual
like
clutch on it.
Manual clutch.
Mm-hmm.
You can disengage the winch. A lot of times when it's real cold,
Mm-hmm.
disengage it. Screw the pump down. That helps, you know,
Mm-hmm.
fix the pressure.
You know, that's an interesting fact even on all the way up to, we bought a 648D in 1990, brand new. And it still had a lever on it then, on them, that you could raise up to disengage the winch. What that does, what we're talking about, y'all, is there's your winch shaft right there that runs, and it runs off the engine. And so when you crank it, it's sitting there spinning all the time. Well, if it's cold like it is today, you can disengage that shaft, and so it's not trying to pull everything to free up the engine and where it'll actually turn over faster and give it a little extra on helping it crank is what it'll do.
Yeah. No, as I don't know what year. I know the 540s back then had a little lever. Well, I think it was over on this side somewhere. You could move that lever,
Mm-hmm.
and it would disengage the main hydraulic pump.
Oh, so you could take the pump out of the system too, then to crank it.
But I have to take the grill out and screw the little valve down.
Okay.
But some of them you could do it from the cab.
How does is this one locked in all the time, or does it have it's got a, well, that's a lock right there, ain't it? That's right. Okay. On the D models then, they stuck it right there on a flip, almost identical to that right there.
Right?
And that's what made John Deere so impressive back in the day, because back in the day you had Timberjack, and you had some Clarks.
We had Franklin's.
Franklin's. Were they back in the '60s like that, or
Yeah,
were they?
yeah.
They were, okay.
Yeah.
So you had them, but the thing about them is they were locked in positive traction all the time. Dude, you talking about tearing up some stuff trying to turn.
Exactly.
You couldn't turn on them.
Most of those had Detroits in them, 350. Screaming, and you had to run it wide open to even
Make it do anything.
make the blade even flicker. Wide
Man,
open.
you could try to turn around right here, and it would take you a daggum 3-acre field to turn it around, and then you would be plowing ground with it while you were trying to turn it around, because with it locked in, you couldn't turn it hardly. But the Deere had it where you could unlock it, and you could turn it.
Yep.
And boy, John Deere killed them on that stuff right there, because we had a 550 Timberjack. Didn't have a steering wheel in it.
Right.
Man, that thing was a nightmare to run. I mean, it had a V6 Detroit in it. It had a Clark winch on the back of it, and it took a team of people.
What kind was it, Tim?
It was a 550 Timberjack is what it was.
550.
Yeah, I believe that was it. It was a
Yeah.
Dad went down to Florida and bought that thing, but you had to, like I said, it took a really good man or about 3 kids to grab hold of it to pull the cable out. I mean, it was bad.
I've ran Franklin a good little bit for some guys different times, and I have not yet ever ran a Franklin that it was hard to pull the winch cable out.
Yeah,
They were,
when we got rid of that Timberjack and we bought a 640D, or maybe it was just a straight 640 that had been repainted and everything. It came from a dealer, and it was a cable skidder. You could effortlessly grab the cable on it and just take off with it. John Deere has always had the winch stuff fixed. I mean, there's either one or two things going to happen with a John Deere when you sit down on the winch on it. Either something's fixing to move, or it's going to break that cable.
well,
I rebuilt the winch on this one last year.
yeah, that's the first time.
The little thrust bearing went out in there.
Yeah, I remember that when you were getting.
Looks like you put that thing on a lathe and milled that thing perfect in there.
Well, the winches, John Deere winches are just.
Master.
And that's a 3305 on that one.
Yeah, I mean they don't play. I mean they pull hard.
You can take that cover off, or he can.
Okay.
I've always kept this skidder covered like this.
Oh, look at the seat, man.
I just bought that.
That's a year old.
You're old.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell a little secret about this skidder, Tim. When I bought this skidder, me and Dad bought it together, and this skidder was just a little over $7,000. Which I thought, I just got back from Vietnam, and I was only 20-year-old.
Did y'all hear that? $7,000 in 1970 for a brand new skidder.
And how we going to do this? But I'll never forget it. The first year payment was $399. The second year's payment was $100 less. And the very last third year was $199. We paid for it in 3 years, but still, I thought, my God, how am I ever going to do this?
Oh yeah.
And my wife just a few years ago, she bought a John Deere riding lawnmower and gave $14,000.
I know, and that's what I was gonna say. It's really no different this day and time. You buy something, you wonder how am I gonna pay for it. It's no different. It's the same thing, man.
And here's another little story about it. These John Deeres, if you didn't want, of course, I'd never been on a skidder, and I didn't know. And then these cables will cut into this drum. I'm sure you've seen them.
Right.
That will happen.
Just over where? That's right.
So Dad seen it was starting to cut in, and he built a set of fair
leads right there.
This is the only skidder I've ever seen with a set of fair leads on the winch.
And all that does is just keep that cable from riding on the side of that drum is all.
Yep, correct.
Riding on the side of that
See where
drum.
it's cut in that drum.
Yeah.
Look that way.
That's right. I can see it from right here.
And when we got this skidder new, it got water in it. In the winch, new. Well, what happened from the factory up around here is that matter of fact, that's that plug you gave me, that bung.
That's right.
And from the factory, they didn't tighten that up, and it filled up with water.
And froze up there.
From that point on, there's always been a cover on that winch.
Yeah, keep the water out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, we've had very little, you know.
So I'll point this, some people's gonna ask this right here. Well, you hear a jet airplane flying right now. There's probably been 2 or 3 flying over us already. We are right here up against the Air Force Base right here. I mean, we're like, you could take a leak. Yeah, you could take a leak and hit it from right here where we're at. So, so this is very cool. I've been wanting to get by and do a video like this of this machine.
This is the, matter of fact, it's only been a couple years ago that it still had the original tires on it.
They don't build them like they used to, do they?
They don't build them like, you know.
They used to put the good ingredients in that rubber, didn't they?
Yeah, and I bought these 2 front ones here, and I gave I think about a third of what that skidder cost.
I know, right? Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
These back ones, I stopped down at John Deere one day and I asked him if they had any old used tire or anything, you know. He said, hey, we just junked the skidder and we got 2 brand new tires and wheels. We'll sell them for $500. I said, I'm gonna run up to the bank. I'll be right back.
18 426s on that thing's what's on it. Ain't that something? Those tires are quite a bit smaller than those 35.5 by 32s, 78 inches tall that we run.
Yeah, I've been around Tim a lot here, and you know, and we could take this tire and put up on top of this one, and it might be about the tallest tire.
A lot of people don't realize how big that stuff is that we run out there in the woods. I mean, the videos don't do it justice.
No,
it's crazy.
This is like a tinker toy, dude.
That's right. Let's see if this old beast will smoke off here. We're gonna give her a cold crank.
It hadn't been started.
Been a while.
Never been fired this week.
We got a little bit of crack there. Got a little candy right there. I'm gonna back up when we can get a good view of it.
Ready, son?
Here we go. Oh, nothing run like a deer. Look at that. What's the horsepower on it? Do you remember? I bet it's probably about 70 or 80 horsepower.
I think it's 68 horsepower.
68?
And the Timberjack end had like 70 or 71. They were just a little bit ahead on horsepower.
Well, see, the 640 and the 648D had about 110, 115 horsepower.
Yeah.
So that would probably be about right because you had a 440 and then you had a 540 and you had a 640.
Yep.
And then, of course, you had the 748 also. We had the 648 in at the time. Didn't they build a 340 also, or was this
that was the last small skidder they built?
Yeah.
340, and it came without a blade. The blade you had to buy extra.
Okay.
I mean, who would want to go in the woods without a blade?
I know. I wouldn't either. No. No, I want a blade on it. Oh yeah. Pump don't even make no noise. There you go, back it up a little bit. Look at there. I bet that's a pulling son of a gun too. Cause
When we rebuilt that winch, you know, with that oil problem, I
yeah,
think the brake bands got so saturated.
yeah,
We're probably going to have to end up ordering brake bands.
it's slipping a little bit
On
on
the
it.
big heavy pines,
Yeah.
it is slipping. But it's pretty stout. It lifts the front tires off the ground.
Oh yeah, I mean you can tell that.
Want to drive her, kid?
Yeah, I'll drive it.
It's got about 4 gear shift.
Oh yeah, it ain't going nowhere. So the brake still works on it then? The brake still works on it, does it?
I gotta get this repaired. It did develop a little leak.
Yeah.
There it is.
And this thing's been running a lot. Look how much that clutch pedals wore off right there. You can tell.
I'm sheltered in it.
Oh yeah.
It's a good old skidder.
Oh yeah.
I could probably get more out of it than I paid for.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. No doubt. Okay. I'm telling you, man, I love it. I love it.
And let me tell you something, Jim.
Yeah,
You're probably about the 5th person that's ever driven.
I figured that. You just don't let nobody run your saws.
Nobody runs the saws. Nobody forces the skidder.
Son, I'm a little special, right?
Well,
He don't, does he let, yeah,
he don't even run it. I'm on the skidder.
yeah,
He runs it. He don't even run it.
that's right. That is so cool, man. Love it. Oh yeah.
Just go down to the park and fleet and get us a muffler put on it.
Oh yeah.
Put a muffler on it for $25. Get a John Deere put on for about 400 or more. Your choice.
Right. So it's got electronic kill on it too that kills the fuel on it. I figured it might. I was looking for a pull kill on it, but I said, well, I'll just try turning the key and see if it does it. And it killed it.
Try to fire it back up. It may not fire up. Sometimes it.
Really?
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay. Fire right up. Oh yeah.
What do you think?
Nothing runs like a deer. Love it.
And you know the little button that goes on here?
Yeah.
Do you know the history about that?
Uh-uh.
the button that goes on there, I might have it in the truck. The Deere has 4 legs on it. You know, it shows the 4 legs.
Yeah.
All the new Deere stuff only shows 3 legs.
Yeah, if I'm not
if
I'm not mistaken, there are several renditions of the Deere on the Deere equipment over the years that they kind of changed and done.
Yeah.
I know there's some people who watch this who know exactly what I'm talking about and can explain it.
Somebody said one time it was like a patent issue or something.
Yeah.
On different, whoever would design.
And they have a lot of John Deere has a lot of different things in place, and like you're not supposed to use that emblem anywhere, but and that's with any trademark thing, you know, but they don't enforce it though, you know, because I mean it really don't need to be enforced, because I mean it's such an iconic deal, you know, with people, and
when we go back up there to the truck, I'll look and see if I have that.
Okay.
You can show.
That's right.
But if somebody out there knows the history of that, I'd like to know it.
Yeah.
I heard one time it had something to do with somebody in England.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know. But
Well, a lot of times, if you still got that thing in one piece like that, that's pretty good, because what they would start doing is they would start hairline cracking. It was like some kind of acrylic, which it probably wasn't acrylic. It was something that
hairline crack.
It started doing all the hairline cracking, and it would finally just give away and start flaking out. Yeah. You've seen a lot of tractors that had that done like that, you know.
Once I found out that it was well, kind of a, what am I trying to say?
Collectible, sort of.
Collectible, yeah.
You went ahead and saved it.
I went ahead and took it off and put it away.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Somebody swiped it out.
Well, I'm going to jump off here and I'm going to take some pictures of it for a thumbnail and get that. But, man, that's still a very solid machine right there. I mean, and like I said, you can tell it ain't like it hadn't been run. I mean, look at the clutch pedal and then look at the brake pedal, how wore in they are on them.
One guy took, you know, that if I just had all the wood this thing's drug out in 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
It would scare us. I mean, it really would. And the guy said, well, no wonder it lasts so long. He said, you never run it.
Oh, that's bull.
I mean,
well, I mean, the daggum, I mean, you've grooved in on the shift levers up there pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to grab one of them falling out, because it would break off probably with you. They wore in pretty good, but I can remember like on say the 648s and the 640s, the D series, they had the power shift on them where it was right beside the seat.
Yeah.
So you had a clutch, but it was just like a tractor. You didn't have to use the clutch on it. You could just bump right through the gears. And I remember 2 of ours, we wore into the shifter like crazy. We had shifted it so many times, you know. But these were some good machines, workhorses.
wear on it, but
Oh yeah.
51
Oh yeah.
51 years of wear.
Yeah. I mean, they don't make paint like that no more either. That's some of that good old lead-based stuff. Probably, I'm sure that's real paint right there, baby, on that thing.
That color anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yellow, shade of yellow.
That's right. They changed that a little bit as time went on. So, what about the trees now? You hit it the second
I
time.
hit it the second time. And you can see the dent up there. And it takes a pretty good person, I think, to admit.
Oh, it takes a. I mean, it takes a really. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, that happened, you know. But I just had eye surgery Monday, and maybe I won't hit it.
Corrected, yeah, that corrected that discrepancy in your vision on your felon marks on your chainsaw. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I will tell you one thing now. I make sure it's way out there when I got one.
Golly.
But that's just, you know.
Well, hell, even though that's a 69 model, even back in the day, the engineers that built this stuff knew then what they needed to take a lick like that for a fall on protective structure.
The one that hit it and done it, it was a clip it on pretty good.
Yeah, and so that's a testament to how long they've been building these things safe like that.
Exactly.
and you know, to protect the operator on it. Now granted, of course, this one don't have all the stuff that you know, a current machine, though you're pretty open on the side. So I mean, when you're running this thing, you got to be mindful of what's going on with saplings and stuff like that, because you can get your clock clean quick on this thing.
Your ears trimmed up.
Oh yeah, and
slap you.
especially if you go to looking back and you ain't paying attention, you catch a sapling with a back tire and it wraps it up in there with you.
What was real bad is when you put the chains on, you got them big rounds, and them chains is picking up big sticks and limbs,
Yeah.
and they're beating you to death up in there as you're going out the ridge at 30 below zero.
Sure.
I mean, it's just
Crazy. Well, this is a piece of history that a lot of people right here is going to like to see.
you know, look at that. I mean, that's
Yeah, it's still on there. Yeah, they don't make stickers like that no more either. They don't make stickers like that no more. So Mr. Larry is still currently fooling with some wood even today. You 75 yet, or you still 74?
73.
73. Okay, I was thinking you and Dad were the same age.
We're a couple years apart.
Okay, so you'll be 73.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your dad probably 70?
He's 74. He'll be 75 this next year, but still clipping around, fooling with some wood. He cuts and messes with some firewood, a little bit of wood, handling it and things like that. And
When I started out with this skidder, we did a lot of pulpwood back in, and I run 5 chokers on it. As the years went on,
the chokers got less and less. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
You see, I got
2 on there. Yeah.
Maybe one.
Yeah.
Fixing to put 1 on.
I tell you, people who have, there's a lot of operators out there, a lot. Well, I would say probably somewhere in the 90% range of skidder operators who have probably never hooked a choker on a log. You probably, I guarantee.
I would say
And
that's
people don't know what kind of joy that is to get out in here and pull all the way to your last one and hook it. Yeah, about that. That's the story of my life. And then hooking them and zigzagging through there and start cinching them up and then bring out all kind of trash with them. Then you gotta try to get it all unknotted and unhooked when you get up to the loader, you know. But
yeah, I could write a book on that.
I can honestly say I have done it. I have pulled thousands and thousands of choke, because this is the way we started. I mean, this is it. I mean, when we
This thing was so much ahead of the crawler, the dozer, as the dozer was to the horse.
right.
And I'd like to tell one other little thing, Tim. When we first bought this, we had it at the woods probably 2 or 3 days. Well, Dad thought he was going to give it a try. He hooked up to a big old beech. And mind, this thing's up on the landing. And he went to turn it. Well, that thing cocked up in the air and raised, just about ready to upset.
Yep.
He got it back down on the ground, and he called the company where we bought it. He said, you come out here, you pick this skidder up, you take it in, you load the tires, and while you got it in there, put wheel weights on it. Now,
Yeah, I see the wheel weights.
Double wheel weights.
Yep.
Lots of them didn't have the, so that's the story of
Reason why that.
reason why, yeah.
Oh, this one right here, as narrow as it is, and the tires it's got on it, would be very easy to pull this one over right here. Especially if you, boy, I bet up in there in the hills where you were up there at Cambridge, I bet you stayed straight up and down on them. You never got sideways and pulled that winch, did you?
And if you did and then got up on a stump,
It-
you could cut washers.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It make the pucker factor go really high.
Factory would get real bad.
Oh yeah. I mean, so did this one? It came with a blade on it, right?
Came with the blade.
Okay.
We got stuff. The blade does need repair. The bottom cutting edge is
Oh, it wouldn't be nothing to get another cutting edge put on that
We've got a cutting
thing.
edge for it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be repaired.
Put it on there and get her fixed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There it is.
Well, Mr. Larry, I appreciate you coming out in the cold today while we're rained out. Well, you're used to this junk because you're probably not used to it anymore. You're probably a little bit weenie now compared since you done been down here this long.
He's really spoiled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's funny though, we in the deep south, a lot of people say they can't believe. I had a heater on in my shooting house the other day, and we had what is that? It was the other day when the wind was blowing like 21 miles an hour,
it was awful.
and the regular temperature was going to drop to like 20. Dude, it's tough around here.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
We had a little snow flurries out there.
Yeah, that's right. We had some ice, some sleet that morning. No, Monday morning. Yeah, it's Monday morning.
What
Yeah.
we all was doing, we all were standing around shivering like a dog passing a pizza.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, it was rough, man, and so I tell people sometimes they don't get it. I mean, it does get pretty cold here, and it's a wet cold.
It's a different. Yeah. Well, let me tell you now, you get pretty warm in the summertime.
The summertime, yeah, it does. It does.
All right. It really sounds good. Though.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Get a thing at the winch?
Nah, we're good. Yeah, nah, we're good. So this is kind of weird to lay all this stuff out and look at it here that I've got now. I've been in the merchandise business since 2017, and here's what I got. All these are Gildan shirts right here. Very high quality. You can wash them and wash them, wash them. The logo will not come off. It's actually embedded into the threads right there. But this is the orange right here, and all of them have this is the back. The front have a logo on the right side, on the left side, on the like where your left pocket would be right there, smaller logo. But this is the back. Got the orange, fluorescent orange. You can use it for deer hunting too, you know, for your orange. And then we got the blue right here, same thing. All of them's the same. We got the pink, we got the red, and we got a green right there. And then we got a tan. And then here's the caps. That's a solid back. That's a Pacific style cap right there. So he makes that one. That's a Pacific. And then these other ones are all Richardson trucker style, the number 112 trucker style caps. We got black and charcoal and orange, charcoal and white right there. And then we throw a beanie into the mix. It's a Richardson beanie, is what it is. Right there, got an embroidered cotton top 3 on it. And then we throw in the stickers. We got a 7-inch, and we got a 5-inch. And we have a 2-inch, like a hard hat or a coffee cup style sticker. These are from Sticker Mule, very high quality vinyl. None of my stuff is junk. And trust me on that. And then we've got a koozie. And I got some other stuff listed on the website too, but I mean, it's kind of weird when I lay it all out right here and I look at it and I think, golly, I've got all this stuff now, you know, that is in there. So if you're in need of this, I go ahead and get an order in. You know, we're running up toward Christmas, and go ahead and get it in, and me and Jill we'll get it on the way to you. So hope y'all enjoyed the video today with Mr. Larry. Very cool time with him and doing all that. I appreciate him allowing me to come out and film this skidder right there too. I also got the hoodies, got the orange, got the zippered and just pullover style hoodies there in orange. I ain't got there's long sleeve shirts over. I keep sitting here long enough, I'll keep thinking of more. So appreciate all y'all watching. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters. So all that stuff can be found at cottontop3.com. There's a clickable link right down below. See y'all.